at least extended for another year.
Okay. I do want to end on a couple fun questions.
Yeah.
Because that's who I am. That's what I like to do.
Good.
Why are you passionate about beer?
I was in the television industry for 20 years as a TV producer, and I really got into meeting brewers from around the country as I would travel to do stories. And you understand this, like you meet a lot of interesting people, and I fell in love with this industry. I would go to breweries whenever we were traveling, and I would meet the people, and then I started pitching beer TV shows. And the first 2 beer TV shows I pitched was with the founder of Dogfish Head, Sam Calagione, before he was anything. He was a little brewery like this side, and it never got picked up. And my wife and I moved out of the Rochester area for 20 years, and we're in Texas, and we hated it, and we wanted to be home. So we came home to Rochester and with no jobs in a U-Haul truck, and it was one of those life resets. It's like, what do you want to do? I'm like, I want to work with the brewing industry people because they're the greatest people I've ever been around in my life. And I was lucky enough to find out about this job and get this job. John Erlob with Rohrbox tipped me off that it was available because I had known him for a long time. And the people in this industry are just nothing short of incredible. All of them. Like, they're just happy people. This is a hard business. And no matter what, they're always friendly. And I'm sure you've seen that wherever you go. It's just like, hey, how are you? When you walked in the door, Dan knew you. Like, you know people, right? You know a lot. I'm sure a lot of brewers in this town, and you just, everybody would have to agree that they're just great people. They're happy people, and they're passionate people. So if you're passionate about anything, this is a perfect industry to be in.
This is kind of a LinkedIn question, but I am curious. Mm-hmm. How did your job as a TV producer help you in this current position?
It was, so in 2008, I had pitched my fourth, in 2008, I had pitched my fourth, let me pack it up. I'm not trying to give you too much detail, but it was kind of interesting.
Please.
After pitching 2 beer TV shows, I started a video beer blog called Beer America TV because I was a video guy like you, and I just wanted, it was this video beer blog. In 2008, there weren't any beer blogs, video beer blogs. It was just us. And so the producers of Diners and Drive-Ins and Dives found it and called me and said, we think this would be a good TV show. Do you want to be in it and co-host? And so they hooked me up with this guy who was an MTV guy from Road Rules named Tim Beggy, son of a comedian, and we shot a pilot, and I spent a week at Oscar Blues shooting a pilot, and being around those people for a week, and again, being around those people around the country and just loving craft beer, good Lord, if I could find a way to make money at this, I would do it. Like, I don't want to be rich, but this is the happiest I've ever been, and I think a lot of people in this industry, they're not in it for the money. They're in it because they love it every day. They love talking to the people. They love trying the beer. It's just that kind of industry.
Now, you told me why you like brewers.
Yeah.
You told me why you like the industry. When you come home,
mm-hmm.
and you have to crack open one kind of beer, I'm not asking you to name a brand. I'm
mm-hmm.
not asking you to do any of that.
Yeah.
If you had the infinite amount of choices of beer styles in your fridge, and you had to pick one to crack open and relax, what would that be?
Oh boy, that's a really hard question. It depends on the day, but IPAs, especially hazy IPAs, are dominant in the industry. 40%. They are dominant. If you look at all types of IPAs, from hazy IPA to regular IPA to light IPA, I'm a big fan of Belgian beers, and I'm also a big fan of lagers, just a regular lager and Pilsner beer. And what I keep predicting, and I'm starting to see more of, is that you're going to see that more from breweries. The IPAs are still going to be on tap, but if you think about a lager or if you think about a Pilsner, craft beer is only 12% of the entire market, right? It's not that big. Big beer has the rest. But if you really want to transition somebody over to craft, think about what they're drinking now. Why wouldn't you have a light lager or something on tap to appeal to that audience to bring them into your brewery? And you're seeing that more and more. So lately I'm more of a 5%er, just to sit down, have a beer, and nice clean beer, one you can have a couple of.
Right. Anything I didn't ask about that you'd like to add, Paul?
I think there's a big movement right now for health and wellness, and that that's why you saw the rise of seltzers, and that actually did hurt the craft beverage industry a little bit. Gen Z is more about health and wellness. And I think as a country, people are more thinking about health and wellness. And so craft brewers are getting a little bit more creative and are brewing some lighter styles because of that, some healthier styles. And you're even seeing, 100-calorie beer nows and things like that. So I think that's a trend that you're going to start seeing more and more of in the craft beverage industry.